Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. Today date is 26th of December and my name is Professor Dr. Rizwan Jamil Qureshi. I'm covering main categories and main types of software in this video. How many categories of software we have? We have general purpose and we have customized. There are two categories of software. The general purpose software, they are developed according to generic requirements of customers. So it's not for any specific customer. It's for general public. Like for example, Google, Hotmail, Yahoo, Gmail, they are general purpose software. Whereas opposite of general purpose is customized, which is developed according to requirements of a specific customer. For example, King Abdulaziz University. For example, King Abdullah University. For example, King Fahad University. Or in Pakistan, we have Punjab University, we have University of Engineering and Technology, we have Comsets University, we have FAST, NUST, and so on. Or banks like Samba Bank here in Saudi Arabia, Al Raji Bank, or in Pakistan, Bank Al Habib, or Habib Bank, or Muslim Commercial Bank. So for specific customer. So these are two categories of software. And how many types of software? We have two main types. We have system software and we have application software. The system software is a software that is developed to provide services to other software. That's the simplest definition of system software. It is always developed to provide services to other software. For example, operating system and server and compiler, interpreter, assembler, editor. These all are examples of system software. They are developed to provide services to other software. Let's talk about operating system. Operating system is a software that has two functionality. We have hardware resource management and interfacing. So operating system is a software that manages I/O resources of the computer, input and output resources of the computer, whereas it also provides interface to the user. So interface, how to define interface? A connecting link at a shared boundary, permitting independent components or systems to meet and act on user commands. This is system level definition of interface. If we talk about simplified definition of interface, it's a point of interaction between user and the computer. Point of interaction between user and the computer. So user can interact with the computer. So operating system has two types of interfaces. We have internal interfaces and we have external interfaces. Internal interfaces between the hardware or between the software, and external interfaces to the environment, that is for the users. So that's the operating system. Then we talk about server, the second example of system software. Server has also two functionalities like operating system. The first functionality is the network resource management, and second functionality to provide services to the clients. So we have client server environment is there. Network resource management. So server is a software that manages network resources and provide services to the clients. That is the definition of server. Here I would like, we have different type of servers. We have printing server, we have web server, we have file server, we have security server. So these are all examples of server. Printing server to provide services. Network printer is there. File server, where we store our files. Web server, where we upload or host our applications. Security server, to provide security. So that's the server, and it provides services to the clients and manages network resources. Then we talk about compiler, the third example of system software. Compiler is a program that translates high-level language into machine language. Compiler translates high-level language into machine language. For example, Java, for example, Visual Studio, Visual Basic, ASP, C# are there, or C++ are there. So compiler translates high-level language into machine language. Then we have interpreter. It's also example of system software. Interpreter translates high-level language line by line into machine code. So interpreter is also there to translate high-level language into machine. The major difference or differences between compiler and interpreter. Compiler compiles the entire code in one shot and produced executable code, and it is also called object code. So source code into machine code or object code or executable code. Whereas interpreter does this job line by line. So another major difference, one shot, secondly produce object code, whereas in interpreter it also translates, but it goes line by line and it doesn't produce object code. So not one shot, no object code, line by line. So it's mostly used for debugging. When we want to debug, we use interpreter. When we want to translate, execute, we use compiler. The third major difference, compiler is slow. A compiler is very fast, efficient, whereas interpreter is slow. So interpreter is another example of system software. Then we have assembler. Assembler translates assembly language code into machine code. Assembler translates assembly language into machine code. So it's a low-level language. Assembly language is a low-level language, and we have high-level languages like we have Java or ASP, C#, Visual Basic, PHP, Python, Perl. Then we have editor. Editor is also another example of system software. Editor is a software that is used to write, edit, and modify the code. So that's the editor. These are most common examples of system software. Then we have application software. Application software has 7 types. The first type, before I define the types, provide the examples, let me define the application software. Application software is a software that is developed to provide services to end user. So system software is developed to provide services to other software, whereas application software is developed to provide services to end users. So these are the major difference between system and application software. So application software has 7 types. The first type of application software is a real-time software. The real-time software whose response is 1 millisecond to 1 second. That software will be called real-time software. Like chatting software, we have sensor-based software like guided missile. So as the target object moves, so it responds. Or chess game, playing chess game with the computer, or gaming softwares. Then you have second example of application software is a business software that is developed to provide services for business applications. For example, inventory system, payroll system, library system. These are business software. Then you have network-based software, the third type. It stays or executes over network. For example, LAN, MAN, or WAN. So internet-based applications or network-based applications, that are the third type of application software, like Amazon, eBay, Alibaba. They are all example of network-based software. They always executes over a network. Then you have office application software. Office software, or we called it personal computer software, like Office is there or database is there. They are called personal computer software. Then you have AI software, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence based software, which is using artificial intelligence like human intelligence, robotics, or games. They are also example of intelligent AI software, artificial intelligence based software. So gaming software and the chess, for example, is there. So playing chess with the supercomputer. So if I revise it, like we have real-time software, business software, personal computer software, network software, and then we have artificial intelligence software is there, and then we have engineering and scientific software, that is the sixth type, which is developed for engineering and scientific applications. For example, AutoCAD, for example, MATLAB is there, Microsoft Visio, Rational Rose. They all are examples of engineering and scientific software. And then you have embedded software, the seventh type of application software. Embedded software is a software that is executed using hardware. We engraved it inside the hardware. The embedded software is engraved or integrated into hardware. For example, chips are there, mobile hardware is there, ROM, read-only memory is there, car, dashboard software, displaying software, or guided missile, or flight control software. They all are examples of embedded software. So these are the 7 types of software. Thank you very much. I hope so you enjoy this video. Assalamu alaikum. Take care.